Penguin Random House Audio presents The Home Edit, a guide to organizing and realizing your house goals. Written and presented by Clea Shearer and Joanna Teplin, with Tara Sands as Leah. This program includes a downloadable PDF with printable fridge labels and resources including websites, Instagrams, stores, and brands to help you stay inspired to refresh your space.
Introduction. If we can do it, you can do it. If you're feeling even a little bit overwhelmed at the thought of organizing your home, you should immediately breathe a sigh of relief. Because truthfully, we at the Home Edit are barely capable of simple tasks like ironing or cooking rice. Do you leave a cupboard uncovered? Do you need to stir? Why is it so complicated? We've never figured that out. But what we have figured out is that we are really good at walking into a room, seeing past the mess, and coming up with a methodical plan of attack. So if we can somehow create sense out of chaos, we bet you can too. When we first launched the Home Edit, or the, as we are often called, we had a very clear objective: transform the way people think about organization. Now, we understand we're not performing brain surgery or curing cancer, but we have seen firsthand how powerful it can be to create a clutter-free space and make it exceptionally functional. Whether it's the kids being able to help themselves to a cereal station in the pantry, we'll do anything to get 30 more minutes of sleep, or finally being able to see your clothes in the closet after clearing away 20 years worth of nostalgia. No, your daughter will not want that shirt one day. Just get rid of it. We weren't satisfied with being just another couple of organizers who could sort things into bins and use a label maker. We wanted our spaces to function and look beautiful. So we figured out a unique system that adds a layer of visual aesthetic alongside the practical one, much in the same way a designer approaches a space. We didn't do this because it looked amazing on Instagram, although it does, or because we really, really like when things are organized in rainbow order, which we do. We did it because we believe that organizing spaces shouldn't just be about putting things in their place, nor should it just be about the way the room looks. We wanted to showcase the magical sweet spot that exists where form meets function, when spaces are efficient, user-friendly, and aesthetically pleasing all at once. It not only makes sections of your home more enjoyable to look at, but we've also found that sprinkling this extra layer of pixie dust inspires people to maintain their organized spaces, which is the whole point. If, as our client, you're not able to maintain the systems we put in place, then we just didn't do our jobs effectively. If we were to go back to your home a year later, we'd want to see that the Home Edit is still working for you, alive and well. Literally, the first thing we do when revisiting a client's home is to check to see if that vanity drawer or linen closet looks like we organized it last week. If so, we give ourselves a shiny gold star. And guess what? We have a sticker chart full of gold stars because the systems we create really do work. Obviously, we keep track of these things because we love accomplishments almost as much as we love sticker charts. It wasn't long before we started to feel like, honestly, something bigger was happening. Clients all over the country, including Gwyneth Paltrow, Molly Sims, Rachel Zoe, Tiffany Thiessen, Mindy Kaling, they were all requesting our services. And then we started to see our work splashed across Domino, Architectural Digest, The Today Show, and even the Target website, which was honestly probably the most exciting thing ever to happen to us, no offense to our children. The more exposure we received, the more people asked us, how on earth can I do that in my home? Surely whipping my house into perfect Gwyneth-worthy synchronization is expensive and time-consuming and requires a team of people. Honestly, that's just not true. We're not going to lie, organizing can be hard. It requires work, time, and thoughtfulness. and it can be more emotional than people expect. But if you have a system in place and rules to follow, and you don't bite off more than you can chew, you can definitely get there. And you can trust us on this, because if we can do it, pretty much anyone can do it. The backstory. Before we were organizers, we were just regular people doing average things. Maybe even mediocre people doing less than average things. And we didn't start out as organizers. We didn't even start out wanting to create this company together in the first place. In fact, we had never even met before. Let that sink in. It is true. So before we continue with all the organization stuff that you actually bought this book for, let us first tell you a little bit about us. Actually, we're going to let our friend Leah tell you about how we met since she introduced us. Leah's hot take on how we met.
Clea first moved to Nashville in May 2015. Upon arriving, she thought, okay, I'm a 33-year-old woman in a brand new city and I know 0 people. We moved our family here for my husband's career, but now what? Cue the panic attack. Before the move, Clea had considered starting an organizing company, but that made a lot more sense back in LA where she had an existing network of significantly more than 0 people. So even though it made no sense whatsoever, she decided things that make sense had never played a role in her decision-making, and she was going to start an organizing business regardless of where she lived. Right after she moved to Nashville, Clea and I became Instagram friends. How else do adults become friends nowadays? And we quickly moved our online relationship to a real-life breakfast date. We talked about kids, our husbands, being Jewish transplants in Nashville, there are like 11 of us, and owning a small business. She said she was considering starting a full-service home organization company, and I was like, whoa, wait. I have another friend named Joanna, also Jewish, also has 2 kids, also has a husband in the music industry, also just moved to Nashville, and she wants to start an organizing company here too. So I'm thinking, this is so great. They are going to love each other. Meanwhile, I call Joanna and tell her about her new destiny, and she was like, no way, no how, no thank you. More specifically, she said, I just don't want a business partner. I'm fine going to lunch with her and maybe even having a new friend, but I've never had a partner before and it just won't work. Well, that went well, I thought. At least they were going to lunch. I wasn't holding my breath for anything else, and I certainly didn't expect their lunch to turn into 4 hours discussing ideas for worldwide organizing domination. And the rest is history. You are welcome. XO, Leah.
It was obvious from the minute we met that we would be starting a business together. And later that night, after our 4-hour lunch, while we were half giving our kids baths, we were also half figuring out the future of our business via text message. We came up with our name, The Home Edit, secured the domain name and our social handles, and even started filing the LLC paperwork. Organizers are nothing if not efficient, right? Of course, years later, we're both like, I can't believe I went into business with someone I knew only for a few hours. We didn't even do a background check or a thorough Google search. It's also hilarious because we were introduced by a mutual quote-unquote friend, but that person was an online friend from Instagram. No offense, Leah. We love you. Not the most advisable course of action, but we don't always take the advisable course. After all, we had both moved to a city we had never even set foot in, where none of our friends or family lived. So we figured we might as well continue down the path of following our gut instinct. Sure, it's just about the craziest thing we've ever done, but it worked out. Just chalk it up to Jewish stuff and magic tricks. That's coming up later. We both went with our intuition, which, as it turned out, is what makes us so well suited for each other. We may be completely different people with varying champagne and candy needs, but we also have plenty of similarities. We both have the ability to tap into our instincts and just do. We don't mess around with analyzing things until we're blue in the face. We just go for it and make it happen, whether it's building a business from scratch, making sense of other people's messes, or coming up with solutions for any obstacles we encounter. Sometimes we find ourselves in a work-induced shopping spiral.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?